The Earth is anything but ordinary. Across our planet, geography has sculpted nations in ways that defy logic. Mountains scraping the heavens, deserts stretching endlessly, forests so dense they breathe for the world, and islands scattered like jewels in the sea. But some countries take these extremes to another level, living on the very edges of what geography can offer. Today, we journey through 40 countries with the most extreme geography on Earth. Places where nature pushed the limits and people learned to call it home. We begin high above the clouds in Bhutan, the tiny Himalayan kingdom where nearly 99% of the land is mountainous. Here, roads twist around sheer cliffs, villages cling to ridgelines, and monasteries seem to float in the sky. For the Bhutanese, the mountains aren't just geography, they're spiritual. The peaks are sacred, often named after deities, and climbing them is forbidden. This vertical world has shaped a culture of resilience and isolation. Bhutan's economy relies on hydropower, rivers born from melting Himalayan glaciers, and its philosophy of gross national happiness grows from its intimate connection with nature. But as the glaciers retreat, Bhutan faces a new challenge, balancing preservation with progress at the top of the world. From the roof of the world, we descend to its floor, the Maldives, the flattest country on Earth. Its highest natural point, just 2.4 meters above sea level. An empire of coral and sand, the Maldives rises barely above the ocean that defines it. Life here is fragile, yet astonishingly beautiful. Over 1,000 islands stretch across the Indian Ocean, their white shores glowing against turquoise water. But beauty comes with vulnerability. Rising sea levels threaten to erase entire islands within decades. Now we move north to Finland, where water reigns. This is the most lake-rich country on Earth, with over 188,000 lakes scattered among forests and rolling hills. In summer, these lakes shimmer beneath midnight sunlight. In winter, they freeze into vast crystal plains where Finns skate, fish, and race across ice roads. Water defines every part of Finnish life, from sauna traditions that end with a cold plunge to hydroelectric power fueling clean energy. Imagine the opposite extreme, Libya, where 99% of the land is desert. The Sahara dominates everything. Ancient dunes the size of cities move with the wind. Here, civilization has always depended on oases, pockets of green clinging to underground water. Cities like Sabah and Ghadames thrive where ancient aquifers rise to the surface. Oil wealth hides beneath the sands, but above, life remains harsh and unforgiving. Temperatures can exceed 50 degrees Celsius. Next, we travel to Suriname, where over 97% of the land is covered in tropical rainforest. This small South American nation holds one of the world's greatest biodiversity secrets. The trees here are ancient, the air thick with life. In the interior, the jungle swallows entire mountains, and rivers are the only highways. Indigenous tribes like the Trio and Maroon communities live much as they have for centuries, fishing, hunting, and preserving the forest's rhythm. No country embodies geographic chaos like Indonesia, more than 17,000 islands scattered between Asia and Australia. It's a nation built on fire, sitting atop the Pacific Ring of Fire with over 120 active volcanoes. Java alone is home to over 150 million people, more than any island on Earth. From islands to isolation, we reach Kazakhstan, the world's largest landlocked nation. Stretching across Central Asia, it's bigger than Western Europe, but without a coastline, vast steppes roll endlessly under the wind. In winter, they freeze. In summer, they shimmer in heat. Historically, these plains birthed nomads and horsemen, the ancestors of the Mongols. And even today, the open horizon defines Kazakhstan's identity. Its challenge lies in connection. Pipelines instead of ports, trade routes instead of tides. Yet its oil wealth and strategic position have made it a bridge between East and West. Few nations have a shape as improbable as Chile, a ribbon stretching over 4,000 kilometers along South America's spine, yet averaging just 177 kilometers wide. This geography gives Chile everything: deserts in the north, glaciers in the south, and volcanoes in between. In a single country, you can walk from the driest place on Earth, the Atacama Desert, to the frozen fjords of Patagonia. But this long, narrow form also creates isolation. If Chile is the edge of the Earth, Iceland feels like another planet. It's the most volcanic country on Earth, its surface constantly reborn from magma and glaciers. Volcanoes erupt beneath ice caps, creating surreal landscapes of steam and frost. Geothermal energy heats homes, powers cities, and even fuels greenhouses growing tomatoes in the Arctic. Icelanders live in harmony with this volatile land, adapting to eruptions, embracing isolation, and finding beauty in chaos. High in southern Africa lies Lesotho, the only country on Earth entirely above 1,000 meters elevation. Its lowest point is higher than the tallest peaks of many nations. The mountains shape everything: weather, crops, transportation. Winter brings snow to Africa, and rivers carved by ice flow into South Africa, powering massive dams. Isolation has preserved a unique culture and a nickname that fits perfectly: the kingdom in the sky. Further across the globe, Nepal stands as home to Mount Everest, the world's highest peak, and some of the most dramatic elevation changes on Earth. While the Netherlands represents the opposite extreme, 1/3 of the country lies below sea level, defended by dikes and pumps that have turned the ocean into farmland. Mongolia stretches endlessly, the least densely populated country where vast steppes seem infinite and silence itself feels sacred. Egypt thrives as a miracle along the Nile River, where a green ribbon of life winds through an ocean of sand. Norway's jagged coastline, carved into thousands of fjords, is a masterpiece of ice and time, while Bolivia's Salar de Uyuni creates the largest salt mirror in the world. Bangladesh endures as one of the most flood-prone nations, the Ganges Delta, both a giver of life and a bringer of destruction. Switzerland, nestled in the Alps, showcases human adaptation to mountains, precision engineering meeting raw nature. Canada, with its endless horizons, boasts the world's longest coastline, touching 3 oceans. And China, immense and complex, contains every landscape imaginable: deserts, mountains, rivers, and tropical jungles, all within its borders. Australia offers another paradox: the driest inhabited continent, yet its people cluster along the edges, clinging to the coasts. The vast outback remains almost untouched, a red heart of silence and resilience. Russia, the world's largest nation, spans 11 time zones, and geography alone has shaped its identity. Winters forged its history, distances defined its destiny. Sweden, carved by glaciers, shines with 96,000 lakes, its forests shaping both economy and way of life. Ethiopia splits in two by the Great Rift Valley, a scar so deep it seems to divide time itself. In New Zealand, nature experiments with contrast: volcanoes beside glaciers, tropical forests beside snow-capped peaks. Saudi Arabia stretches endlessly with desert dunes, but beneath the sand lies oil, a geological fortune that changed global history. Greenland, under Denmark's crown, is Earth's largest island, its ice sheet storing 10% of the planet's fresh water. Japan lives on the edge of disaster, balancing technology and culture amid earthquakes and volcanoes. Peru rises high with the Andes, but descends into the Amazon's green infinity. Argentina stretches across climates, from Andean heights to fertile pampas to icy Patagonia, its geography shaping its spirit of adventure. Across the ocean, the United States encapsulates every extreme, the highest and lowest points in close reach. From Death Valley to Denali, Kenya's Great Rift Valley reveals the cradle of humanity itself, where landscapes are as ancient as our origins. Iran's rugged mountains and deserts meet in a land built on endurance, while Pakistan stands where 3 mighty mountain ranges collide, birthing K2 and valleys of extraordinary danger and beauty. France harmonizes extremes, from Mediterranean heat to alpine snow, geography shaping its wine, architecture, and culture. India holds nearly every climate on Earth, its diversity unmatched, from Himalayan peaks to tropical shores. South Africa unites 2 oceans and countless terrains, each region a different world. Madagascar remains evolution's private laboratory, isolated long enough to invent its own life forms. Turkey straddles continents, split by seas and fault lines, where geography itself shaped civilization. And then there's Antarctica, the final extreme, the coldest, driest, windiest place on Earth, uninhabited yet alive with scientific discovery. Extreme geography does more than define land. It defines people. It dictates what they eat, how they travel, how they survive. It shapes their music, their architecture, their identity. A country's terrain can be a blessing or a curse, but in every case, it's a story. In Bhutan, people climb spiritually because they can't climb physically. In the Maldives, they float because the land may disappear. In Suriname, they protect forests because it's all they have. And in Iceland, they dance with volcanoes because the ground itself moves beneath them. The beauty of extreme geography lies not just in its scale, but in its intimacy, the way it weaves into daily life, shaping how people think, work, and dream. In every corner of the world, geography tells a story far deeper than lines on a map. It is a living force. It creates opportunity, defines limits, and sometimes defies them. Take Bhutan again, where geography shapes happiness. In a land where peaks rise faster than roads can be built, progress moves at a slower, more deliberate pace. That's why Bhutan measures its development not by GDP, but by gross national happiness, a balance between material progress and environmental harmony. This isn't just philosophy, it's practical geography. Mountain terrain makes mass industrialization impossible, forcing Bhutan to turn inward, to nurture what it has rather than chase what it doesn't. And in doing so, the country has become a living testament to how isolation, often seen as a limitation, can be turned into strength. Contrast that with the Maldives, where geography has demanded innovation at every level of society. The islands are too small for large-scale agriculture or heavy industry, so the people built an economy based on tourism, fishing, and sustainability. Every resort becomes its own micronation, powered by solar panels, desalination plants, and coral restoration programs. Maldivians have also become global advocates for climate action, because for them, rising sea levels are not a distant threat, but an existential reality. They live every day with the knowledge that their paradise could one day vanish beneath the waves. Yet that awareness has inspired resilience, creativity, and a deep sense of unity. Proof that even fragility can be a source of strength. In Finland, water defines not just the landscape, but the national character. The thousands of lakes and forests encourage introspection and simplicity. Silence here is not emptiness, it's connection. The Finnish word sisu, meaning quiet determination, comes from a geography that demands patience and endurance. The long winters, endless forests, and vast lakes teach people to find peace in isolation and power in perseverance. Even Finland's innovation in clean technology and renewable energy reflects this respect for nature, a direct extension of living within such a balanced, water-rich ecosystem. We live on an extraordinary planet, one where no two places are alike. Mountains rise, oceans fall, forests breathe, deserts whisper. And through it all, humanity finds a way to call every extreme home. If this journey showed you how incredible our world truly is, remember to explore further, to see beyond maps and borders, to understand how geography doesn't just form land, it forms life. Because Earth's extremes aren't just measurements on a chart, they're living, breathing stories. And the greatest adventure of all is realizing we're part of it.